Guys, what did I tell you in the last patch notes video? The boom ball was on its way out. After being removed in Team Rumble, I knew that this was just a tester to see the backlash from the community before they bolted the boom ball for good. And guess what? In today's patch of the 9.30 or patch, the boom ball is gone. That is right, the boom ball is no longer in the world of Fortnite. There's also some more stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into that in just a second. My name is Doodles. You're watching Doodles Gaming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also use code Doodles in the Fortnite item shop and buying skins. It really helps the channel out a lot. But without further ado, let's dive straight into the 9.3 or patch notes. Now the big thing in this patch is the brand new Chug Splash item. It says, on impact, this thrown item splashes liquid in a small area. All players within the splash radius will be instantly granted 20 health or shield. It grants health unless you are in full health, in which case it will grant shield. Chug Splash can heal allies, enemies, and can extend the duration of the knock state for knocked players. It's rare variant, it drops in stacks of 2 and you can carry 6 at a time, and it can be found in floor loot, chests, vending machine, supply drops, and llamas. So this is really interesting. This is basically like a mini shield for your whole team, or enemies for that matter. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this works, but I'm glad that they've added a new item which isn't necessarily going to be a game breaker, and it's not going to ruin the meta that much. Like, it's going to be a pretty good item, I think, and I think it's got a lot of potential, and it's not going to be an item for once that the community is going to go against. But it should be really interesting to see how it works, and I'd love to see it in action. Hopefully I'll be able to jump on and try it out for you guys in just a little bit. But moving on, we've also got some weapons that have been voted. We've got some weapons that have been changed. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about here. The shotgun swap delay has now been removed. Shotgun cooldowns now only apply when the player is carrying multiple shotguns, regardless of the shotgun type. As you guys know, that normally when you switch out a shotgun, it would take like 2 seconds from switching in order to start using the next gun, but that has been removed now, so now you can swap instantly between guns, which makes it a lot easier to shoot, especially in those situations where you need to swap guns quickly. It says this is a quality of life change to prevent the swap delay system from interfering with players who do not have multiple shotguns in their inventory. As with all changes, we'll be keeping a close eye on this and make adjustments if necessary. Now, speaking of the shotgun, there's also been some nerfing to the combat shotgun. It says reduce for combat shotgun's long range effectiveness. They've reduced damage at medium distance by 10% from 4.88 tiles to 2.44, and they've reduced the damage at long distances by 20% from 9.76 tiles to 4.88 tiles. The combat shotgun's accuracy uniquely enables players to hit shots from a longer distance compared to other shotguns. However, the damage at those long ranges were a little higher than desired. Which is great because the combat shotgun was essentially a sniper shotgun. Like, I could pretty much never switch out my shotgun. Someone could be on a hill and you could be at the bottom of the hill and you could sort of just sit and shoot them without any sort of desire to change guns. It worked that well at long distances. So I'm kind of glad that they've changed it now. Obviously they're trying to sort of nerf it a little bit, try and sort of bring it back in line with how it should be, but it's still going to be a very viable weapon. They haven't done anything to the damage or anything, so that is awesome. Moving on to the vaulted items, they have vaulted the boom bow, the dual pistols, and the dynamite. It says these vaults are primarily targeted at adjusting the availability of explosives, putting them more in line with where we think they should be. Now, obviously, the proximity grenade launcher was put in the game just last week, which gave us so many different explosive options. We had the proximity grenade launcher, the rocket launcher, the grenade, and the dynamite, as well as the boom bow, which also had explosive properties as well. So now at least we've got rid of the dynamite, which means there's only grenades now as a sort of throwable explosive item, and the boom bow is no longer in the game. But I'm also surprised to see the dual pistols are being vaulted once again, because the dual pistols have been vaulted one time in the past. Now, I know they're not the most exciting weapon, they're not the weapon that most people go for, but they've definitely got the place in the game, I think, and I'm actually quite surprised to see them go. But I'm not surprised to see the boom bow go. That was definitely a long time coming. I think the whole concept of it was great, but I think it was implemented pretty bad. I think the fact that shotgun ammo had explosive properties was really weird, and the fact that obviously you get a lot of shotgun ammo throughout the course of the game. By the end game, you've generally got way over 100 shotgun ammo, and that pretty much meant that you could build up high, or you could be in a high position, and you could just rain down boom bow arrows, I suppose. I was going to say bullets, but I suppose it's arrows. You could literally just rain down on players with no repercussions because you could just fire them off that quick. So I would have thought it would have made sense for them to be maybe rocket ammo to sort of at least make it more viable that it's a really quick rocket rather than a shotgun ammo that sort of explodes. Like, it would have made more sense, and that way they would have only had 13 rockets to use. You would have had one already on the gun and then 12 remaining, and that would have meant that it wasn't as overpowered. That's exactly how I would have done the boom bow, but obviously I don't work for Epic, so I didn't do anything with it. But anyway, it doesn't matter what I would have done because the boom bow is no longer in the game. And now, speaking of the proximity grenade launcher, they've removed the ability to ride proximity grenade launcher projectiles. Due to the faster speed of this projectile, it was causing problems with level streaming. You can still ride rockets launched from rocket launchers. Now, I did not know that you could ride proximity grenade launcher projectiles at all. But yeah, apparently you could. Some people have way too much time in their hands to figure this stuff out. But I did not know that you could do it, but apparently you could. And now Epic have also added a short delay to start damaging players from Stormflip on entry to mimic normal Storm gameplay. They've added Stormflip audio visualizers when it is activated, and toys no longer show up in the elimination feed on Starter Island. Now, they've also got some fixes and adjustments as well, which we're going to talk about in just a second. Now, there was a big issue where you could use a rift and you could immediately shoot the player that you rifted with you in order to kill them. This has definitely been seen a lot, especially in the World Cup. It has been done and people have been killed by this, and it was definitely a viable option to get yourself out of that sticky situation in which you could rift someone into the air and then kill them while you were in the rift state as well. Before you went to the sort of the skydiving state, you could actually fire a weapon. This has now been patched in the game, which is awesome. I still think they need to really nerf the wall taker mechanic. I think that's getting really broken right now, and definitely affecting gameplay a lot. I'm surprised that hasn't been fixed yet, but that is definitely an issue which I think needs to be attended to. Also, supply drops would sometimes spawn underground in areas with water. They've adjusted the area around the reboot van that players could not build around to prevent the placement of flaws and traps under the van. The proximity grenade launcher was auto reload while aiming down sights. This fix makes it consistent with snipers and will reload once unscoping or after the next attempt to fire. Adjusting the timing for the effect of consumables to help situations where players would switch away from consumables before it finished activating. Reboot cards will no longer fall to the ground, they will remain where they spawn. Reboot cards will remain available on the map even after the timer had expired. Campfires could block explosion damage at specific angles. The Shadow Bomb double jump ability could be activated while under the effect of a Boogie Bomb. The Boogie Bomb effect will continue playing on players while they were skydiving. Empty Shadow Bombs could not be discarded correctly if eliminated while the effect was active while in respawn game modes. Players that had a Rift to Go used on them at the same time they were being rebooted will sometimes not be put in the skydiving state. Stormflip would deal incorrect damage if two were overlapped on each other. Stormflip was able to stop a supply drop from falling. Weapons were shown while using emotes while on a drift board. Now, there's a few gameplay features as well, and some fixes and adjustments as well as stuff with the performance, but a lot of it isn't that worth talking about in my opinion. There's a few things here, such as they made the 4-byte pressure plate puzzle northwest of the block easy to complete. You can now park vehicles on top of the triggers in order to get it. You don't have to use 4 people, you can get 3 vehicles instead. But apart from that, there's not a great deal going on in the game that is generally worth talking about. I think we're going to leave that one here, but that's a pretty big patch note. It's not the biggest patch note in the world, but I think the information within it is definitely big and worth talking about. Like I said, the boom bow is no longer in the game. A long time coming in my opinion. I think a lot of the community will agree with it. There are some people that will be annoyed by it, but I think it was a long time coming. I think it was a very overpowered and broken gun. Like I said, if it used rocket ammo, it would have made it a lot less of a viable option. But in the end game, you've generally got over 100 shotgun rounds, so you've got 100 boom bow rounds in order to cause absolute carnage, 100 plus damage each shot, and with like a 1 second reload time. So yeah, it was definitely an overpowered gun. I'm surprised to see the dual pistols go. I'm kind of surprised to see the dynamite, but whatever, it is what it is. The combat shotgun has been nerfed a little bit with its long range effectiveness, but apart from that, there's not a great deal going on apart from the Chug Splash, which is obviously the new item for the day, but it's not exactly a big item that needs worth talking about that much. It's going to be a cool little addition, but nothing that's really worth spending a lot of time talking about. And we've also got the limited time mode rotations. We've got sniper shootout duos, trios, and solid gold squads coming up very soon, which is awesome. But apart from that, I think we're pretty much about good in terms of talking about the patch notes. There's obviously more about creative save the world stuff as well, but you're not going to bother about them, so we're going to leave that one here. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. I think this patch is going to be quite a good one. Like I said, I'm glad the boom boat is gone. Hopefully you guys think the same as well. And also let me know if you think this is kind of a better sort of style of video to make when it comes to the patch notes. Normally I have my camera on, we go through the patch notes one by one. But I thought that I'd just sort of do a voiceover for it, and I'd maybe just show some gameplay footage. We'll kind of brush over points a little bit quicker. So yeah, let me know if you think this is a better format for the patch note videos going forward. And if you did enjoy this video today and want to see more like this on the channel, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe and notifications on. And as always, don't forget to use code Doodles in the Fortnite item shop and buying skins. It really helps the channel out a lot. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for doing it. It means so much to me. Keep on doing it. Help grow the channel even further. My name is Doodles. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.